So, it sure seems like folks really aren't big fans of the federal government, right? Recent polls from Pew Research Center show that a majority of Americans say the federal government does too little to address issues facing lower and middle income people, with only 17% saying they trust our officials in DC to do what's right. So what has the federal government been up to in Appalachia as of late? Well, to start, let's take a trip to campus. Two graduate students at West Virginia University made headlines this week for an ongoing lawsuit that alleges the school violated Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act. The suit claims that the university failed to provide blind students with the accessible course materials required to complete their degrees, citing improperly formatted PDF files, inaccessible online software, and deliberate indifference to accessibility concerns. Miranda Lacey and Harold Rogers, the students who filed the suit, along with the National Federation of the Blind, have said that self-advocacy in the classroom has been at the center of their graduate program, not their education. As the suit progresses, the Department of Justice also announced it's in the process of updating the ADA to solve the exact problems that Lacey and Rogers have faced. While Title II had previously required digital accessibility, it lacked specific, consistent technical requirements. But as of April 24th, the DOJ's updates will require that organizations meet specific web content accessibility guidelines, meaning that students will soon have access to, among other things, the accessible PDFs and functional screen readers Rogers and Lacey say they didn't. Meanwhile, in North Carolina, FEMA has announced it's offering buyouts to 75 households as part of the Hazard Mitigation Home Buyout Program, which allows homeowners to have their damaged property bought out by local governments at pre-storm values. This recovery funding has been severely stalled due in part to the ongoing partial government shutdown, which we've previously reported on. Despite the good news, some homeowners remain skeptical. One interviewed by ABC 13 said,
"I still won't believe it until they put a check in my hand."
And while 75 buyouts have been offered so far, that is only a fraction of the 683 people that have applied to the program since Helene, the rest of whom are still left in the lurch. Finally, as West Virginia's Mine War Museum opens an exhibit on black lung history, coal miners throughout Appalachia and across the country were dealt a blow this week as the Mine Safety and Health Administration indefinitely delayed a rule to implement new black lung protections. Approved by the Department of Labor in 2024, the rule was expected to, for the first time, establish uniform exposure monitoring and control requirements for silica dust, a leading cause of black lung in coal miners. However, the rule has been in limbo since its initial approval, being delayed 3 separate times due to an ongoing lawsuit led by the National Stone, Sand, and Gravel Association. That suit requests the federal government block implementation of the rule entirely. All the while, miners are feeling the effects of black lung at younger and younger ages. A recent report from the CDC estimates that about 20% of all coal miners in central Appalachia suffer from black lung, the highest rate detected in the region in over 25 years. A UMWA representative responded to this lawsuit saying, "Silica dust doesn't wait for a court calendar. The lungs of miners are being scarred in real time. A 35-year-old miner with stage 1 silicosis doesn't have the luxury of time." I'm Griffin with 100 Days in Appalachia, and that's the latest from the hills to the hollers.